Hello, Amanda Brown here from Homepreneur, and welcome to this short video on how to use Canva. This was at the request of one of the Homepreneur members, Deirdre, and I just thought I would put together just a quick 5-minute video on how to use the new Canva because there's some changes. So once you've created your account, what you want to do is to log in and get to this screen. Now, across the top, we've got recommended types of illustrations that I might want to create, and you can see that there's a whole range of them. You just click to the right and the left here, and then down below are all the designs that I've created previously. As you hover over each of them, it will give you a little rolling gallery of all the pages within that particular document. I'll come back to that. I'll show you what that actually means. So a design is made up of either one or more pages. When we come on to this one, this is one of 12. This is for my time management course. And then we've just got simple things here where I've been putting images in circles just to see what they look like. So it keeps your designs in a library there. But what I'm going to do is to show you how to use the basic functionality of Canva to create a social media image. So here we are, we hover over the social media template, and it's going to create an image which is 800 by 800 pixels. So I click on that and it will open up a new window. So we've got all our old designs up here, but it opens up a new window on which we create our illustration, our design. What it will bring you to over on the left is another menu going downwards here. We've got templates, elements, text, background, uploads, folders for organizing your work, and then apps. I'm not going to cover all of those today because I just want to show you how to create a simple social media graphic. Now you can start off one either on this blank sheet here, or you can use one of the templates that's been pre-designed, and some of them are really good. Some you pay for and some are free. What you'll see here is a little free sign on any image, graphic element that you can use freely. You don't have to attribute the graphic to anybody. It's free for you to use. So let's scroll down and have a look at these travel social graphics. Quite like this one, but I can see all of them by clicking on all, and up will come all the travel social graphics. Let's use this one as an example. When I click over here, it brings up this Canva image here. Now this demonstrates where I've chosen something that isn't free. You'll see in the background it's hashed. There's got a watermark on it. It's hashed out. And it's got Canva written on it. That means you've got to pay for it. Well, I don't want to use an example where we're paying. So let's go back and use this free one. I just simply click again and it replaces the template I chose with a new template. On here, what I can do is I can change the background and change the filter. So you can see that I can move this filter around. All the elements on a Canva template are usually editable. So if I want to take this particular filter off, all I have to do is highlight it and then delete it with my delete button. Now I've not got any filter on here and I've just got a black background. Well, say I wanted a very lively background. I didn't want black. If I want to change a colour, I'm going to see the colour of that background up here. So when I'm controlling colour, all the choices will come along this strip, and we'll see that's used for other things such as text as well. So let's first of all change this colour. Just going to click on that. I'm going to choose a bright blue. You can add to your brand colours, and I've got various brand colours here, by clicking on the Add button, and up will come a colour picker. So if I wanted to change that completely, I could use the slider to go to a different colour, and then I could move this circle up and down to change the tone of that colour. Let's leave it at this lovely orange colour, just for this example. Now the template has given me these words. What's happened here is because it's a template, it's grouped the words together. You can see as I click on that word, add a line, up has come some information. We've got the font type here. Let's click on that. And it's Railway. I like Railway. It's a really nice font. It's got the font size, which I can adjust. It's got the colour of the font, which I can change. Whether I want it to be bold, italics, the position of it within this particular square, whether I want it to be uppercase or lowercase, and whether I want bullet points and then the spacing. We'll look at that later. But this is grouped. You can see a very faint, let me make this bigger, a very faint dotted line around this group of bits of text, and then underneath there is further lines, and there's a little clue that it's a group because it says ungroup. So we're going to ungroup this because we want to edit it. We can't edit individual elements until we've ungrouped it. We'll go through this bit over here later on in the tutorial. So let's say I want to change this into, change the text. I highlight the text, and then if I want to change the colour, I can go over to the colour and we'll make that bright blue. We will also change the spacing on the text. So we can make the letter spacing slightly narrower. And we'll just click away when it's done. Well, that's a bit sort of bit of eye-watering, really, that colour, that blue on the orange, but never mind. Now, if I want to change the font, I'm going to go to the drop-down and I'm going to use Montserrat instead. You can see that's changed slightly. And if I want to make it larger, I go to the font, height or size, and you can see it's gone to 32. Now, that means we've got two lines. In order to stretch that out, I take these handles on the text box and stretch it out so that it is all on one line. Now, as you can see me move this piece of text around, there are little pink lines coming up. And these are guidelines, and they help you snap the text to the centre or to the edge of another piece of text. So if I want to line up that A on the left here with the beginning of this, I'm using that guideline. Mostly I like to centre things. So I'm looking for that central pink line that's coming down the middle of the graphic. So it's above the Sea of Pacific Coast. I'm going to just make this just 100% rather than 125%. So this is the size we're working to. If that's a little large for you, you can make it slightly smaller if you like working in a smaller sort of template background. Now I can say now I can change the words here. So you can see it's very simple. So I'm going to save this and make it say an Atlantic Coast weekend. So I've just changed it by typing in over the top of it. Okay, so I want to make this stand out here. So my travel adventures. Now, if you just want to change travel adventures into a different colour, you can do that. Don't know why you would, but you can. And if you want to actually maybe make the gap between Atlantic and weekend narrower. You can change the spacing by changing the line height. Sometimes that's very useful to make that about 1 because you can then fit more in. You must make sure it's readable. I'm not very keen on this font 6 caps because it's actually really difficult to read. So I'm going to change that. Let's change that. And as I go down, you can see that a number of different fonts that you have is fantastic. Now, obviously, if I do that, then clearly that doesn't work. I'm going to have to make the whole thing very much smaller. So let's make it smaller here. That's a bit small, so we'll make it like that. So if I'm happy with that, I'm going to, I'm going to move that down. If you make a mistake like I just did, go up to the top here, and that's undo. So that's going to move things back, or redo will move things forward. Okay. Oh, it's a bit dull as a social media post, isn't it? So let's move this down to the bottom. Literally, I'm just clicking on it and dragging it. Sometimes it's a bit fiddly, so you just have to practice. I'm going to move this up because we're going to put another element in here because that's a bit dull. So going over here, what I can do is I can find an element which gives me these different categories of element. There's a whole load of free photographs, some grids which refer to the whole of the background, some shapes, charts, all sorts of different things. I like this one. It's a frame. I'm going to use a frame. I'll put this here. Now it's obviously huge, so I'm going to resize it by taking the corner and dragging that to make it smaller. I then have got the move icon and I'm going to move it into the center here. And now I'm going to find a picture of a coast. So we go up to our images and we literally type in a keyword. So I'm going to type in the word seaside. Can't spell. Seasonal. I don't want seasonal. And I'm going to apply a filter and I'm going to make sure it's free and apply it. And I'm going to look for photos. Is it going to bring me up a picture of the seaside? No. Let's go for the sea. There must be pictures of the sea. Yes, fantastic. So this one's a free image. And I'm going to drag this very slowly across here. And I'm going to move it and it's fitted into the back, but I actually want to fit it into that circle. So if you're clever, you can just move it so that it just flicks instantly into that circle. Really useful if you've got an awkward space to fill. So there we go. That's one way of using and not using Canva, because clearly seaside's not a search term that is used in their library. What else can we do? Well, say we wanted to use this multiple times, but we wanted to change the background colour and the image. What we could do is we can go to this little drop down and we can copy this page. There we go. There's page 2 now. So we've got 2 of the same. And if I wanted to reuse that, and I didn't want an Atlantic coast weekend, I wanted, I don't know, an Atlantic village weekend for some reason. I might change the background here and it might be green. I might change, I'm not going to change Adeline's Travels because that's her brand colour now. I'm going to change that picture. So if I choose another search term, I've got field in here now. Photos. Now I want to make sure that I'm using a free one. I like that one, so I'm going to pop that one in here. There we go. And you can see that I've changed the whole thing. So I've got 2 for the price of 1 and so on. You can keep doing that. So how do I get this into my social media? There is a share option here. Now, I don't know whether you've got the share option on a free account. I've got a paid for account because it allows me to resize my images automatically, which for me is very useful. Share will allow you to share it. You can download it here in multiple formats. Now, what you need to just be careful of here is you don't want to keep downloading everything in a zip file because it becomes very boring. Actually having to unzip all the files. So I tend to download them one by one, and there we go. It's downloaded. I want to download it as a small size JPEG. Download. Now you'll just have to practice using that download button. So there we go. We've downloaded it. And that will appear in my downloads folder, and then I can use it for my social media, which is very useful. So I haven't entitled this, so it's called Untitled Design 21. If I wanted to change the title of it, I go up here and I go add a line, social media. Make sure you name it something that you can remember, because otherwise you go back, when you've got hundreds of these things, you go back and you think, what did I call that file? You can't remember. It's really annoying. Then you can publish social media, all sorts of different options here for publishing. So it's a really, really useful tool. I could put this on my Facebook page. I'm not going to, because I don't run a travel company. So I can publish it to my LinkedIn profile, my company page, and so on. It's great if you want to do printing for a publisher, for a printer. You just go and you can say I wanted to actually print that out as a leaflet. I would then go in and I would select print, PDF print, high quality, multiple page document. Well, this will be single page. But actually what this will allow me to do is to put the crop marks and the bleed marks on automatically. And that means it gives you comfort that you haven't put anything too near the edge so it won't print. Very, very simple to do. So there we have it. That is how to use the new Canva, a very quick whistle-stop tour. I'll just show you some of the things that I've managed to create with this. So here we've got the productivity course workbook. This is an A4 sheet. I've got that claret coloured background, my brand font being used. I've used a free image, and I've just put a band either side, so that's very simple. Other things that are more complex that I've created for a client are this one, which is a Facebook cover for a new swim school for a client of mine. So you see I've used those three frames in there and put it against a jolly background, and we've got the logo just floating about for a bit of fun. Other things that you can do that are more complex. This is an Eisenhower matrix. So I've just created some squares here, and then I've rotated these ones so that they are not horizontal, they're vertical. So you can do that. That's pretty easy to do. Okay, so if you've got any questions, just pop them in the comment below this video on the Homepreneur Community Facebook page. Thanks very much for watching.